Okay, welcome back. Here we are today. We're going to talk about how you run a campaign. So the purpose of today's video is we want to be able to make content for beginners, people who are getting into this awesome game, and help them sort of navigate their way through getting started. So what we're going to talk about today, Brendy and I are going to go over how to set up the standard campaign, which is called a Dominion campaign. We're going to talk about what that is. We're going to talk about how the house gangs are organized. We're going to talk a little bit about tactics cards as well. And the goal here is the information we'll give you today should help you set up your campaign. And then we're going to move forward from today's video and produce an actual Dominion campaign with a series of linked games, and we're going to use 4 gangs. Okay, moving on from that, now we're going to go into the house gangs. So what we'll do here is we'll start out talking about each house gang has its own specific house rules, and they all have a very unique mechanic, and these mechanics can be very difficult to get your head around when you're starting out. There's no reason you have to use the house mechanics. You can certainly, if you're a new player, you can just start and use the base rules for the gang without worrying about the house mechanics, because they can be a bit daunting because there's a lot of rules to get your head around when you start out. And that would be perfectly reasonable to do if everybody agreed just to ignore their house mechanics. However, we're using the house mechanics today just to make sure we can demonstrate sort of, I guess, the scope of what each of the houses can do. So we'll start with Brendy's first gang. So Brendy, which gang do you want to talk about first?
We'll talk about the Orlock gang first.
Go for it. So what's their house mechanic?
So their special house mechanic is what they call legendary names. Every champion and leader, when you recruit them, can get. It's like a skill, but it's each one of them has a benefit and a disadvantage. They're not always just super good. They've been written in a way to kind of be balanced. So and in the gang that I've taken, I've got 3 characters with the legendary names for my Orlock gang. And I've kind of picked ones that sort of work in with their skills or whatever to just make them a little bit more flavorful. Outside of that, an Orlock gang is a very generic gang. They're not good at shooting. They're not good at melee. They're just an all-rounder. And they take very basic stuff, but the legendary names, and you can tweak things and make them really cool. So I've picked an Orlock gang. The name for them is called Skulls Road, the gang. Their leader is a road captain. His name's Freddy. His skill that I've taken is Overseer, which basically when he's standing inactive allows him to use his activations on another player or another character in the gang, which will come in fairly powerful as we'll demonstrate in further games. I've given him a legendary name, and it's actually called Too Pretty for Primus, and it's more focused around gaining credits for the campaign. So if he's alive at the end of a campaign game, and if he rolls 2d6, and his gang will get credits equal to the amount on the dice times 5, I believe it is, unless he rolls a double, in which case the opponent of that gang will actually get the credits. So
yeah, you built him basically to be like a support character.
Yeah, he is my leader. But being that the gang is very generic and sort of there's no real strings to it, I've made him more of a campaign player more than a campaign destroyer. And then obviously from there, I'm moving to my champions. I've got a road sergeant. I've kitted my road sergeant out to be more of a shooting sort of guy. Actually, I probably should have said with Freddy, he's got a plasma pistol and a servo core. So he's got a pretty good gun. He's got a pretty good melee weapon to start off with. He's just a general overall guy.
Yeah, he's not going to be winning any fights with like a massive...
He's not going to kill a stimmer.
No, he's not going to kill like a massive monster that's on the enemy team that's got a really good melee bonus.
No.
Yeah.
So moving into my Road Sergeant, I've kind of kitted him more out to be a bit more of a shooter type character. He's actually rocking a melter gun. His skills are Fearsome and Headshot. Well, Headshot is the legendary name, and basically what it does is on his first shot that he takes of every game, if he kills someone, he gets an extra D3 XP. So, melter gun, pretty good chance of killing somebody. So I'm hoping to obviously farm a lot of XP with him and make him get a lot of upgrades throughout the campaign. Yeah, that's
extra XP. So he's going to get 2 XP for killing someone anyway.
Yep.
And then he'll get at least 1 to 3 more.
D3 additional on top of that. Yeah. And if it's a character as well, being a melter game.
So he could level up very quickly.
He could get a lot of levels very quickly and upgrade his skills. He could also, you can buy up to, I probably should have mentioned this with the legendary names. Each character can have 2 legendary names as a max. So, you can spend 3 XP to get another one or 6 to choose. So it's just another thing that you can spend XP on. And I'm hoping that he'll pick up a fair bit of experience across the campaign.
I think you said he had Fearsome?
He did have Fearsome. Yep. So Fearsome is a really cool skill in that it can shut down because he's not really a melee guy. So the way to kill this guy would be to melee him. He's got a skill that basically you have to pass a willpower test to charge him. If you fail the willpower test, you lose your activations, which is really good to shut someone down. Obviously, if that doesn't happen, then he's going to get charged and he's probably going to get hurt.
But it's like an aura defense, isn't it?
It is an aura defense. Yeah.
So it means most gangs don't have
strong
great willpower. Most, not all, but most, which means that it's kind of like a generic defense system against a lot of people who might want to try to get a sneaky charge in on him. Yeah,
for sure. My other champion I've taken is actually the special champion type for the House Orlock, which is an Arms Master. The Arms Master is he's got a few cool tools that a standard champion doesn't have. In that, when you do a bottle test, if he is still around, he'll give you a benefit of -2 to your bottle test rolls. So it's when you're playing a campaign game and you've lost a few dudes, you've got to start rolling bottle tests, and then guys will start fleeing. Where he'll give you a little bit more of a flexibility on how long your gang will stay before they fail that bottle test. So he's cool in that he's already got sort of like a built-in skill himself. He's just packing at the moment a arc hammer, which is also a weapon specifically that's given to the Arms Master that the rest of the gang doesn't have access to. It's basically just a big crushy hammer, which is cool. He's more of a melee focused character at the moment. Since I've got an all-rounder gang, I've gone a shooty champion with my Road Sergeant, and then my Arms Master be the melee type champion. He's got a skill of Nerves of Steel, being melee. Having him be pinned is probably not too good. So hopefully, if he does take any hits trying to run into the bad guys, Nerves of Steel will help him stay on his feet so that he can then pull those charges off.
Yeah, because Nerves of Steel, he just does a test, a cool check, and if he passes it, he doesn't fall over, basically.
Yeah. So he's actually got a legendary name as well because he's a champion, and I've taken the legendary name Lucky. So what that allows him to do is, before or after any dice roll, he can make that dice roll a 6, essentially. So I really needed to get off one of my melee hits, which is essentially what I'm looking for, and I'll just flip it to a 6. That's just gonna help out a lot, considering he's a melee character. And if he gets into melee and he doesn't hit, then he's probably going to be in a lot of pain. So we pulled Lucky, but the downside of Lucky is that if any of the games that he's in uses reserves, his card has to be in the reserves deck. He can't be on the field to start.
And just to be clear about that, Lucky, because people won't necessarily know. So is that something he can use in any turn, or is that a once per game?
Once per game.
Once per game. Okay.
Yeah.
Because that'd be pretty powerful if you could do that
every turn. Yeah, no, no, it's definitely only once per game.
Yeah.
He can make any dice roll a 6.
Yep.
Going on from there, we've then got a couple of gangers, which are called gunners for the Orlock gang. Again, their stat line is very... It's like a Space Marine in 40k. They're all the same number across the board, realistically. So, I've given my first one, and I've sort of lent more into the shooting side of the gang. I've given my first one is a specialist. He has a grenade launcher with frag and crack grenades. Grenade launchers are just great. I can't. They did change the blast traits and stuff for grenade launchers, so you can't just target ground and suffer no negatives now. But at the end of the day, grenade launchers are just still great weapon all around especially for a specialist. Moving on from him, I've got a standard ganger. He's called Jag. He's rocking a bolt gun. Just because
Bolt guns are awesome.
Bolt guns are awesome.
Yep.
And then again, as I described, House Orlock, they're just generic across the board in their stats. They're not good at anything, but they're not bad at anything. So a bolt gun, I basically have a Necromunda for Space Marine.
Yeah.
As far as I'm concerned. And then I didn't take any Jews in my gang this time around, but I have taken two of their prospects.
Yeah.
And their prospects are called Wreckers. I've got them both kitted out slightly differently, but one of them is equipped with 2 auto pistols, and then the other one is equipped with 2 stub guns. Now, interestingly, the difference between these prospects and a lot of other prospects is their movement. These guys have got really good movement in that they have something called a jump booster. Basically, they can move a lot faster than a lot of other characters can off the point, and also they can make half of their movement as vertical, and they can move across gaps because of the jump booster. So, and if they want, they can overcharge the booster as well and move slightly further with the risk of basically exploding.
Yeah, which we've seen happen.
Which I've seen happen.
So Brady's got these guys. They're just like super fast, basically.
They're super fast. Yeah. They're going to get up fast. They're both equipped with 2 pistols. Obviously, you've got the stub guns with the dum-dum rounds as more of a more heavier hitting gun, and then I've got the auto pistols on the other guy for more of a spray and pray, and hope I get rapid fire shots out of it. So, and that would make up my 1,000 points exactly for my Orlock game that I'm going to run this time around.